joining. I have Ty and Skrilla. Today, I would like to just start by asking you guys, how are you today?
All good. Blessed to be here. Thank you for having us.
So Motu Viget is a Michigan-based spirits company, black-owned, based out of Grand Rapids. Motu Viget is a Latin term based out of Grand Rapids that means strength and activity.
Strength and activity.
Yeah. And our activity underneath our organization and our company and just us as individuals is community.
Okay.
So Motu Viget means strength and community.
Okay, that's inspiring.
Starting the line of wine was just the inspiration came from just being grabbing hold to something that black people usually is predominantly not in. It's an industry that we're not in. People, we always create businesses and we think about just creating for analogy, one of our partners always say if you want to bake cookies, that's cool. You can bake cookies, but why don't you open up a factory and mass produce and distribute those cookies?
Yeah.
So we wanted to come out with into an industry that we're not even 1% in. So that's what got us into the spirits industry, because it's an industry that you see African Americans ownership with this.
So a little piece of my background is I come from retail and fashion. So I've done collaborations with, you name it, from Nike to Adidas and Fila, and now I do a lot of collaborations with the Starter brand, with the old school Starter jacket, and now we do creative direction with Pony. So I would attend these events, and they will always serve spirits that wasn't made by us.
Okay.
But I just wanted to help create something that when we celebrate something, we're celebrating us as well.
Yeah, even more so.
Even more so.
So what collaboration plans do you have with Starters coming up?
Well, actually in February, I'm doing something with the Detroit Pistons.
Okay.
And we're releasing our Black History Month collection. This is our third year doing it. And this is something that we're also doing national with Starter and Fanatic. So we'll have the whole NBA, the whole NFL, Major League Baseball, and some hockey teams too. And then in March, I'm doing something again with the Detroit Pistons. We're celebrating 313 Day.
Okay, good.
So I'm doing a traditional Detroit Piston jacket. We'll celebrate that as well.
Okay, my question for you, Mr. Fashion Designer.
There you go.
What inspired you to become a fashion icon?
Well, because of my late father. My father was always clean. My father was the type of person, he would get dressed up just to go to the corner store. It wasn't none of that. We're just gonna put on some sweatpants right quickly.
Yeah.
Go to the store. So every time he would step out the house, he would be clean cut head to toe. So I kind of adapted that, and just by growing up in the area that I grew up in, which was the 12,000 block of Roselawn, we was influenced by the street hustlers.
Yeah.
And so they was always dressed fresh to head to toe. So all that was embedded to us, and I just took it and just embraced it, and I was always one of the freshest kids in school. So from my shoes to my whole outfit, I'm the type of person that would get my whole week's worth of clothes already lined up.
Oh, you
what shoes I'm wearing, everything. Shoes gotta be clean, everything.
I love that.
I love fashion and I love the brand. So when I release something, I know what I'm talking about. So if I embrace a brand like a Starter, I know about Starter's history.
Yeah.
If I do my stuff with Pony, I know about Pony's history. So I am a student of the fashion game that I love, and it just so happens that I'm a sports fanatic as well too.
Okay.
So when I design these Starter jackets, it's just not a jacket, it's a story that I'm telling with the jackets.
So tell us about your signature jacket.
Well, signature jackets is everything I do. You can open up the Starter jacket.
Everyone's signature jacket,
Yeah, every logo is in there because it's a saying that if it's not a top Mopkins Starter, you're still on the bench.
Your holiday collection. Tell us about your limited holiday collection.
Well, that's something that we was blessed to do. This was our first annual Christmas collection that we did. So we called it the Candy Cane because it was a red and white Starter jacket that we did with the NBA, NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball. So we did that. This was our first year ever doing Starter footwear to tie back to it.
Okay.
So that was exciting. We sold out first day it came out. So we're talking about thousands of units that was moved out all through the country.
Okay, so what advice would you like to give to people in the community that are looking to get into fashion?
Love what it is, embrace it, and understand that It's just not overnight. Where I'm at now, it took me several 100,000 nights to get to where I'm at now. So if there's something that you love, get lost into it and learn everything that you can possibly do.
What about when it's discouragement, from every angle at times?
It's life. It's going to happen. Keep going. If it's meant to be, it will happen. If it's something that you love, you're not even going to worry about being discouraged because you're going to overcome those boundaries to be successful. Pretty good at this, man. See,
Oh, well said, well said. Tell us more about you and your partnership.
So our partnership with Mopkins is legendary, honestly. Us coming into the game. I'm from a small city called Inkster, Michigan, and I came to Detroit at 18, 19, and just been embraced through the Detroit culture. As one of
You
Detroit.
feel that there is a big difference?
Oh, it's definitely a big. If you're not, people know if you ain't from Detroit. But I have the pleasure to move through where people think I'm really from Detroit. But I always let them know that I'm not, because I don't want to claim something that I didn't have. I didn't have that upbringing that everybody had.
But what do you think? Well, this is not some jump from your collaboration, but what do you think really defines where you're from?
The way you walk, the way you talk. Detroit say what up though, Inkster say what it do. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's similar, but we like cousins though. It's still the extended family. In other cities, we still have similarities with inside of fashion and our flavors. But just some certain parts of our language is different. But a lot of people that's even from Inkster, if you go worldwide, they think they're from, a lot of people like you from Detroit.
Yeah.
So our flavors and just everything is impeccable, and they're unified together. But like I said, I don't never want to claim something or tell somebody that I'm from somewhere or not.
Yeah.
We call this the jewel of Michigan. Inkster gave Detroit its first gold record from the Marvelettes. The founding members of the Marvelettes were from Inkster High School. The first gold medal, Jesse Owens, Inkster native Malcolm X transitioned his life and called him Detroit Red when he actually stayed in Inkster, Michigan with his brother Wilford. So the house is actually out there still standing. We just made that a historical monument. So, Malcolm X's legacy will be back in history again. It will be, blackballed. So it's a lot of great lineage that came from Inkster. And even the youngest ever state rep in the state of Michigan, Joel Jones, he's Inkster resident. He was the state rep over in Inkster and Garden City and Westbrook. So it's just so much talent in history and jewels in Inkster. But we use Detroit as that launch pad because everybody in the world knows Detroit and Inkster. But that led me down to the path of what is this global vision of Black excellence inside of our community. I'm a real community person because I come from a small town, so I'm more of a village. When I came to the big city, it blew my mind to know that it's so many places you can go, but the biggest thing is everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
No matter how big Detroit is, it's extremely small. So it really got me into more like organizing. I started off party promoting. I used to work in telecommunications, so neighborhood cable guy before I got into entrepreneurship. So I was real big on network. And also, big on fashion too.
Yeah.
And
you guys look stylish.
I appreciate it. Likewise.
Thank you.
I see the coordination.
Thank you.
So
Nice and simple.
So that was the biggest thing, and that led me down to doing community organizations and giving back in the community. And I was a part of an organization called Own Your Story.
Okay.
Own Your Story. This organization is a national organization, and what we did was we gave out $100,000 in regrants to small business owners, and I was the city manager for it. So I conducted these listening sessions and galvanizing this information. And they asked me when I became city manager is who's the influencers in Detroit? And it's this think tank of all different business owners. And as these people kept coming up, I mentioned Ty Manning. I was like, Ty Mopkins as an influencer. So I got this poster board. I'm gonna give it to Ty one day. His picture is on this poster board. And from there, I'm big on manifesting what you want, and doing the work diligently to get your result. I linked up my partner. She linked me up with who is our partners now of Motu BJ Spirits. We went to an event and I met our partners now, and I asked them to sponsor this $100,000 giveaway with champagne. And so I'm like, okay, I just really want to promote. I want to be an ambassador. I'm highlighting Black excellence. I want you all. I want to push the brand. So they sponsored it.
Yeah.
We did a champagne toast with Motu BJ's champagne, brewed champagne. The city, they loved it. And I seen how the city loved it. And I was like, you know what? Let me ask them to go a little bit deeper into moving. So with that, we're moving. We done expanded throughout the Detroit market within a year and a half, really. We haven't even hit our 2-year mark in Detroit, making sufficient execution through our distribution, our placements. But I just wanted to make sure that we're exemplifying strength in community, because that's what we do. And one day Ty gave me a phone call, and it was like, what? Ty called me out, like what's going on with this, spirits company. We have mutual relationships, especially with Strictly Sportswear, with Kathy, the Hamlin family, that was one of our mutual relationships. And then further down the line, we found out we had even more mutual relationships. But from that experience, that really kind of got us closer together. Where I'm going to top birthday celebrations and just to family functions or events. And as we're just seeing each other move through community, Ty respected the way I move through community, and I definitely respected, him as an OG of how he actually exemplifies not just Detroit, but overall our culture. He moves with integrity, but it's not cocky and conceited. It's still humbling, experiences and moving through. And that's the type of things when we talk about strength in community, because it's no little I or big I, big T, little T. We just dotting our I's and crossing our T's at the end of the day. So that's what led down the journey of us really connecting. I really feel that, I know Ty reached out, I'm gonna let him talk about that, but I really feel that at one point in time I manifested Ty in this space before we even had that conversation.
That's nice.
I'm going to touch on the whole Michigan-based thing. Michigan is a unique state because even though we have different cities, we all can unite as one. So you got Inkster, you got Flint, you got Grand Rapids, you got Kalamazoo. So like how New York got the 5 boroughs, we have these key states that's just, you can go and, I can go to Flint and feel like I'm in Detroit. I can hang out in Inkster and feel like I'm in Detroit. Same way with Grand Rapids. Just because we have that aura about us. Like you can tell not only if somebody's from Detroit, but you can also tell if somebody's from Michigan because the way we walk, talk, just our whole aura and atmosphere. And what made me reach out to Skrill was because of it was a Black-owned spirit company. And like I said, I would go to these events all across the country, and we would be celebrating accomplishments, but it was nothing ours to stood up to. So I wanted to be a part of something that, if something that we accomplished, let's toast it with our own as well too. So now, when I have these victories, I can say, hey, let's raise a glass of Roselawn. Let's raise a glass of Motu BJ.
So you came with the name Roselawn?
Well, the reason why I did Roselawn is the street I grew up on.
I figured.
I grew up on Roselawn, 12,000 block of Roselawn on the west side. So when I did that, I wanted to create something that resembles me. And it's also like a rose that grew from Detroit concrete. So that was the first thing. I already embedded that I wanted to do a wine or something before I even knew Skrill was involved.
Why wine?
Because we're at a certain age now, or a certain part of our life,
Yeah.
But we don't really want to party all the time and
No
drink
hard
the hard.
liquor.
Yeah, we want to be mellow. So when we created Roselawn, we had a whole tasting thing that we did because we wanted to make sure it was right. We want to make sure it wasn't too sweet. We want to make sure it was too dry. We want to make sure that it had that taste where
That's right.
men and women can enjoy.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get a bottle.
We got you, no problem. We got you.
Okay, definitely.
We got you. With things like this, giving us a platform to really talk,
Yeah.
and in return, we can help this magazine grow as a little too.
Yeah.
Because once we start unifying and getting our connections together, your assets are my assets. Your connections are my connections. So if we do this, we
I
grow.
have another question actually. That's
Go ahead, come on.
But so, what would you say would be beneficial for people in the community that are looking to become entrepreneurs? What is it that?
That's easy. Listen.
Listen.
I'm 25 years into retail, and I still listen.
Yeah.
Because I don't know it all. I soak it up. So I've learned from so many people that just drop gems that 9 times out of 10 don't even know they're dropping gems.
Yeah.
So I just listen, and when I see a situation come, I understand it because I've heard somebody else go through it
Yeah.
before. So it's like one of my mentors is a Flint native. His name is Carl Banks. He's actually the president of Star. So I'm constantly watching the way he moved, and constantly watching how he interact with people and how he talk to people. And I just don't want to say mimic it, but I know how to approach certain situations where the old me would be more hostile. Now I know how to calm it down and talk and not check you like I'm from Roselawn,
Yeah.
but check you like I know what I'm talking about in business. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, I would add to that and just say like, go big, like go big and make sure that you know doing business and right now it's trendy to say I'm an entrepreneur. We had discussions about this a lot. It's trendy to say you're an entrepreneur. It's trendy to go get an LLC.
Yeah.
But you have to build your actual foundation with business credit, revolving credit, for lending loans. Make sure that your back office is good because we just had a whole pandemic, but technically a lot of our people couldn't really get SBAs because they didn't have the proper necessities set up because we've just been doing things as a hustle.
Yeah.
And we have a hustling mentality, we have that hustling energy, but if we're gonna go into starting our own and owning our own, we have to legitimize all those different things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm the best in it because I'm learning as like I've been listening, I'm learning from West Michigan. And anything that we're gonna do economically in the state, I mean in the nation, is really gonna start from Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan has the ability of influence on a global scale. In Detroit at that.
Did you guys go to school at all?
As far as what, college?
Yes.
So I
Of any sort, you know.
Yeah, I mean high school, but as far as post-secondary, I went to Wayne County Community College but I went not for business, but mental health. I'm a big mental health advocate, especially being an African American in America and not knowing our culture and our roots. So I went back to learn the mental health system that America shows you, but I also did African American studies. And it was a big contradiction. And that's what led me down my entrepreneurship lane even more in community involvement because I had to some way get the message out rather than telling somebody, lead by actions. So that's what I'm big on with leading by action. And I always say Michigan is going to be that global impact once we can connect West and East Michigan. I'm really like on some Tupac stuff, but Michigan, not West Coast, East Coast. Yeah, but it's state because, and my analogy is if you put your hand up, this is the mitten, we call it the murder mitten. But all of us kind of grew up in church, and they always say he got the whole world in his hand. We're the only state shaped like a physical body part, and it's the hand. And we're surrounded by the freshest water in the world. And the whole people in the hand is we got the black people. We know the original people are us. We're right in the poem. So when we talk about
the names of all the lakes, the Great Lakes.
All the Great Lakes, Erie, Michigan, Superior, and Huron. So boom. Listen, you know what I'm saying? So You know, these are things.
No, I
that
wanted to add to what you were saying about the maiden too. Like, yes, my aunt once taught me that they're named by homes, like the acronym homes.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. All the lakes, homes, Huron, Ontario,
Michigan, Erie,
Superior.
Homes. This is homes.
Yeah.
we going to church, not true.
So that's what it's about. You learn something every day.
And yes, I do see just how successful you guys have been in your journeys so far. You know, thus far, honestly. I would love to see what you guys do moving forward. It has been a pleasure to have you guys here today. This exposure will definitely not be the last time you guys will be here with us. And yeah, if you guys have anything upcoming, you said there's something coming in February. You looking forward to anything exciting?
We got a gala, our first annual gala in March.
A gala? Yeah.
Make sure that you send we get your invite out. That's going to be March 10th.
Yeah, make sure you send it out to Black Business.
Yeah, definitely. March 10th. And this will be at Bulkhead. It's invite only. Black tie, black dress. This will be the tribute for Time Mopkins partnership. So this is our first annual, but I'm going to let Ty touch more on the gala because this is the bread and butter.
You're the host of the big show.
So more of, you know.
So shout out Jonathan Jokes, that's one of our partners.
Jonathan
Jokes, that's one of our partners. So you wanted to do something here in Detroit that's a celebration and put people on notice. Like, yo, even though we're Grand Rapids, we're Inkster, Detroit is a very serious, let's do it all together. So actually this gala is kicking off 313 weekend, which is Detroit area code. So with the gala, we also paying tribute to some key figures around in our industry, in our market too, but also portions of the proceeds want to help one of my best friends, his name is Jalen Rose. So he has a leadership academy here in Detroit. So a portion of the proceeds will go to his high school. And then we all grew up in hip hop. So another part of the proceeds will go to the Universal Hip Hop Museum in New York. So it's a gala with a cause. It's just not us getting dressed up, taking pictures, and posting on social media. It's like we want to give back. Since hip hop and fashion and education is a big part of what we do, we just want to cover all aspects with that.
Thank you so much for giving back to the community. So I'm sure that a lot of people don't know who the faces are that are responsible for such things sometimes.
And to touch on that, we like to keep it that way. We're not the ones to feed somebody and take a picture with that
but
person.
I mean, like, it's not even just that of always needing that recognition to say, I did this or you did this. It's just that you were a part of a team that made the difference, that made all the difference, you know. You were, even just the connection sometimes. You never know who needs what, like, you never know who needed who to make this happen, to make that happen.
Well, it's an old saying that I like to say, I give because I want to receive.
Yeah. And that's all you can do sometimes, is be a blessing.
Yes.
You know, be a blessing.
And I want to make sure that we do acknowledge all of our partners because it's a big shout out to West Michigan for putting this on. Jonathan Jelks, Willie the Kid, Jamil Robinson, and Andrea Super Dre Wallace. We have influencers that's in hip hop. Willie the Kid is a hip hop artist, lyricist, and Super Dre is a famous DJ. So, you know, we're bringing Ty on board. Now we got the culture of the fashion industry. So a lot of our ownerships and partners are pillars within inside of certain energies within inside of the community. Myself, I lead within inside of community organizing, nonprofit sectors and stuff like that on a national. So we're all doing different industries and expanding that and bringing that together of that Motu DJ. So it's not just the Spirits brand itself, it's the spirit that we embody internally amongst each other, and that's strength of community.
Nice. Nice to produce such a good wine.
Wine, vodka, champagne.
Wine, vodka, and champagne.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Have you guys been to wineries prior to?
Yeah, so that was one thing that got me hooked too, because me and my wife, we took a trip one day and we saw how it was made and processed, and that's what sparked the idea of me, like,
How is it to maintain being an entrepreneur and having a household to take care of it?
You know what? You learn to how to adjust where each time, gets a certain amount of attention and all that, and where family doesn't get neglected, but understands that this is providing for the family.
Yeah.
And we're not just having a traditional job. We're having something that we can pass down to generations.
Yeah, and something you're passionate about.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Love that.
When they pass it to them.
Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, thank you so much for coming out, you guys.
I appreciate you.
What you've done for the community. I pray that you guys have a success story for the rest of the year, and that we see each other again.
Definitely. And congratulations on you and your career.
Oh, thank you.
You did a phenomenal job.
Thank you. One last thing, you want to tell you guys the social medias?
Oh yeah, sure. You can follow me on all social media handles at TYMOPKINS.
All Instagram. That's the only social media I'm really on. James_Skrill. That's SCREAL _ Jr. Our business page is Motu MOTU_ VIGET. And then
We got Roselawn Select too on Instagram.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming out today.
Thank you very
Enjoy
much.
the rest of your evening, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
James Skrill Eberheart Jr. Social media James_Skrill Eberheart Jr. on IG. And I am Black
Mopkins at Mopkins on all social media handles, and I am Black American Business Guy.